do. There it is. I love this song. It's like It's a Small World. When you go to Disneyland, it gets stuck in your head. This has been in my head. Welcome, my dear. I am so glad you're
here.
It's really you. It's my Michelle.
I know.
We've known each other. Gosh. It's
5 years.
5 years now, isn't it? 5 years.
2015.
Well, let's welcome everybody. Everybody, this is my Michelle. Hi, Julia. What's up, Jasmine? You know my Kelly better be here or she's going to be in trouble. We're going to have some words if she ain't here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We call this Bedtime Recovery Stories. And what's up, Jinx? You know what I'm wearing right now, Michelle? I have a onesie on, and it's the elf onesie. And what the problem is it when I wear something green, it thinks it's a green screen, like on TV.
Uh-huh.
And what's weird is what shows up is not even in our house. Look at
That's
that.
what I noticed. It looked like a house.
Look at that. This is not even our house in the reflection.
I have no clue of what
we have
is.
no idea how this happened. It's
When you were climbing in, and I was going, "What is that?"
By the way,
my Rod is here and my Michelle.
It's my Pearl Jam.
What's
today.
up, Evie? Hi, Jen. What's going on? We are here doing bedtime recovery. So yeah, this is green, and it's like the Elf. You know the movie Elf with Will Ferrell. That's what it is. You can see the symbol right here.
You can see the symbol right there.
Right. But because it's green, this isn't even I'm like, this is some nice furniture. I'm like,
let's cover someone else's house. I know.
There's a fireplace in the background, and I'm like, we have a fireplace in here? What is this?
So you're in Texas, Michelle, right? So it's 10
I'm in Texas.
It's BeDTiMe, and you're staying up late with us?
But I'm staying up late with y'all.
Go ahead, baby.
No, we started to do these lives a couple weeks ago, and doing these, it kind of organically turned into recover stories. You know what I mean? Recovery of people that have gone through a recovery of any type of recovery, or
still struggling.
In the process of,
yeah, they could be still struggling, or it could just be life challenges. And I thought, you and I have such a deep connection. We've known each other for so many years, and to the moon and back again.
To the moon and back again.
That's their catchphrase.
That's our phrase. When Michelle, tell us how you and I connected. You remember the story? I know
the story very well. Let's see. I woke up one morning, I believe it was in July of 2015, and I had a friend request that was accepted by Rod. And I said, "Who's Rod?" And looked, and I said, "I don't remember this." Shortly thereafter, I had a friend request that was accepted by you. And I said, "Don't really know what's happening." So I Googled y'all and realized that when you were on Entertainment Tonight that night with Rod, I had friend requested y'all, but I had also drank way too much, and I didn't remember anything about it. And so that's how we ended up being friends.
Yeah. I never heard this side of the story.
Didn't? That's the story.
I didn't realize this side of the story.
I knew
that's the story.
And you and I connected, and you have flourished, my dear. Could you tell us, what is it that you suffered from?
Alcoholism.
And that's a big thing right now, especially, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I have people reaching out to me almost daily because of the quarantine and stuff.
Yep.
And relying on your kind of support. Can you tell us how it started and how long you were suffering from it?
Oh gosh, it goes way back. I don't really even remember a time that we didn't drink. I drank wine when I was cooking supper and drank when people came over on the weekends. And it just, you wake up one day and there you are.
I'm
And
from a
there I was.
small town
Yeah.
of Taft, and they used to drink like it was a sport. I see my boy Julio Franco right there. He knows what I'm talking about. So we can all kind of relate to it feeling like if it's like with what everybody did, it doesn't feel like it's abnormal if you're surrounded.
No, it doesn't until it starts causing problems with the family and work and things like that.
Yeah.
And for a long time, it didn't. For a long time, I was able to maintain and do, and until I wasn't.
The coping mechanism for sure.
Yeah, and Rachel was there for me. So many, remember all the days we would text back and forth.
And how you've blossomed. Now, can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
When did you realize you had a problem with the alcohol?
Oh, well, it got to such a point that it was affecting my relationship with my family. And it gets to the point where it's me or the alcohol. And that's basically what they were telling me. And so
when did you have a realization? Like, was it how many years after or how long ago did you realize like this is overtaking my life?
Well, it was probably towards the beginning of 2015. And I tried for a long time to moderate. And then trying to moderate just sent me down a long spiral, just sent me plummeting out of control. And
Right.
So in October, I stumbled a few times after that. It wasn't a perfect ride. And I don't think it is with anybody.
No.
I didn't go to any sort of recovery classes or meetings, or I found a group of people on Instagram, and there's a group out of Canada called She Recovers, and I went to a couple of their I guess you would call them retreats or whatever. One was in New York, one was in California, and just connected on a level with people that I didn't know that were going through the same thing. And it was really good for me for a really long time. It helped me realize that I wasn't alone. I wasn't by myself. And then through the years, our family's built back up. Life is great. And I don't have to lean on that community as much anymore. And so, yeah, that's it.
So for you, groups and that communication would you say, the basis of your foundation to really start recovering from it?
Can you say that again, Rachel? I didn't hear the first part.
No problem. Would you say the camaraderie and the community is what helped you recover through the process?
Yes, because in the very beginning, when all of a sudden I have this problem that's really right there now, I thought that there was no one else that had that problem. And I was on Facebook one night and a blog showed up just out of nowhere. And it was a blog written by Laura McCowan. She lives in Boston. Mm-hmm. And now she's written a book called We Are the Luckiest, and she's traveled and been on TV and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of befriended her in the beginning as well. And I read everything that she wrote. I followed her like a puppy dog, and just started learning so much. And then that community just exploded. And there was thousands of people all of a sudden everywhere, from all different walks of life, men, women, all different colors, like just people from all walks of life. And it was just a great feeling. It's sort of, it's like one day when you feel like you're not alone anymore.
Yes.
That there are people like you out there.
Yeah.
And that's what helped me the most.
You know what, Michelle, I have to tell you, to be honest, that's what helped me too the most. It's community. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, it helps, to have special, specialists and things like that. But for me, I didn't want anyone to have this, right? We don't wish this on anyone else, our problems like this, but to find that you're not alone in it was absolutely critical, you know, to finding that you're, you know, these feelings you feel so alone in a disease, you know.
Yes.
She went from isolating to bam, everybody knows at the same time. It was within a day, you know what I mean?
And then what was hard was then the whole world knowing, and it was great, but then it comes at a price. You know, putting all this stuff out on social media with people bullying and comments. And when you're going through recovery, Michelle, don't you find that you're still trying to get your legs back? Like it feels like you're still Bambi on ice.
Yes.
And so when people, you know, that's why in treatment centers, they ostracize you from your family, from, you know, pretty much everybody, because I mean, which is a bit too much, but I understand the, you know, the reasons, but because they're trying to shield you so much from the comments until your head's right. But the problem is, like, your head doesn't get right in such a short amount of time, and it's very expensive, you know, as you know, treatment can be. But you were saying, I interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying yes.
You know, it's hard to get better in a bubble, if that makes sense, because then we have to deal with real world, right? When we come out of it, we have to deal with our own routine and our, you know, what is that? Idle hands are the devil's workshop, you know, and that tends to take over. And the psychology, because, you know, with alcoholism, it's a disease, you know, and people need to understand that it is a disease. It's something that plagues both the body, the mind, and the soul, right? Spiritually.
And you can be on a path to getting there without even knowing it. You know, you start drinking every day and you start changing your brain chemistry. You start changing the way your brain works. You start changing what part of the brain that you use to make your decisions with.
Absolutely.
You know?
Do you know, at one time I actually went to a center, and it was mixed with, you know, people who have drug addiction and alcoholics, and it was mixed with eating disorders. And learning so much about them. And, you know, one thing that I didn't realize, because at the time we had to share food, you know, because they were feeding us as well as people with drug problems, as people with alcoholism. And that the alcoholism was so prominent, and they had a lot of things like, it was hard for me because I couldn't digest it, but I was literally dying because it was all fried foods, what my tummy couldn't handle yet, or a lot of things like that. And I learned that
a lot of nutritious food.
Yeah, it was the most nutritious. But because when they're dealing with coming down from alcoholism or drugs, that sugar craving is absent. Could you speak to that? Because I'd love to hear it from the horse's mouth, you know, on this.
You know, it was, I didn't know what to expect, because like I said, I just sort of did this on my own. You know, I just woke up in the morning and went to bed at night and stayed sober in between. And what happened around, let's see, so that was in October that I quit drinking. And then around December, I noticed that all I wanted was sweets. That's all I wanted. It's all I could think about. And I've never been a sweet eater. Not my whole life. I was the one making nachos, and I passed up the cake, passed up the pies at Christmas and all that. Never did I like sweets. But it got almost out of control. And I noticed around Christmas, I was eating the pies and all that kind of stuff. And Then in January, I ran across a lady. This was in 2016. I ran across a lady on Facebook named Sarah Roberts. She is from Canada, and she was advertising a 28-day sugar-free challenge. She had written a book, and I messaged her and I said, "Tell me about this." And so she told me about it. We're since really great friends still, but she sent me the book. And I got, we had a prep week and all that. And I learned that, you're replacing one sugar for another, because all of the alcohol is nothing but sugar.
Yeah.
And so your body craves it. So then in that 28-day period, I was really able to gain control of that sugar craving that was so intense, like so intense. And I learned a whole lot about food at that time as well. So
that's amazing.
That's such a big point, because I don't think people really know that the body goes through withdrawals so intensely from sugar. It is so strong. And I've learned that alcoholics, people who are in recovery, are at risk for refeeding syndrome as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. People who are recovering from alcohol are at risk. People who are recovering from chemotherapy are at risk for refeeding. There's so many. It depends on where they are in their recovery in that category. But when I get something, I call it refeeding hunger. It is the reason I bring that up. Oh my gosh, Michelle! Last year, Rod's laughing. I had I know people don't believe me on this.
She starts to talk about peanut butter, then I wake up a little bit. So
peanut butter. I went through. You know how much peanut butter is? How many calories? I mean, it's a lot of calories in just a couple tablespoons. I went through an entire jar in one sitting. I was still hungry. Gosh. People don't understand.
I came back in the room and I thought that she had a different jar that she had found. Like, oh, that must be a different jar of peanut butter.
That's like 20,000 calories or something. I'm making it hard. I don't want to trigger anybody. But my point being is, for me, I get this hard thing to control. It's refeeding appetite. What happens? My appetite gets so voracious, so intense, I can't stop eating.
I understand.
What happens is I start putting on more and more water. For some of us, we're more sensitive to edema in refeeding than others. I've gone through it a few times. My body is very sensitive to it. But it's like, when they say you can drop blood, just a tiny drop of blood in a big, huge thing of water, and a shark will know.
The shark.
A shark smell it. That's me. When I'm refeeding, if my refeeding hunger kicks up, you've never seen anyone. I told Rod, if the fair is going on, the all county fair, put me in, coach. Nobody will bet on me. Everybody bet in. We'll pay everybody's medical bills. Rachel out anybody, because it's no joke. I can put away so much nutrition. So I totally relate to the sugar. And
the sugar goes to the part of the brain that cocaine goes to.
Right there. You said it. You said it right there. Right there.
So I have a question, Michelle. So when you were going through your transition, did you have like another avenue, another hobby, or something that you ended up challenging that injury into as a distraction?
Well, I mean, I've always loved to exercise, and I did turn to that a lot whenever
media. So I see.
we are big fans. We are.
Give the arm pose.
I know.
Give us a little.
I love your fitness. It's your transformation to being healthy has been. Oh, gosh.
Well, to be honest with you, I used to hide behind it. I would eat the salads and do the exercises so that I could drink the vodka and the Crown,
Right.
And so I hid behind it then.
Right.
And I have my ups and downs with the exercising. Like right now, I'm at a kind of a slump because of what's all, being locked in the house. And, we do get to go out because we get to go to the cleaners because it is open, still. But I'm kind of in an exercise slump this last couple of weeks. I had a car wreck last Thursday.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. And so I've been kind of in a little funk about it, but I'll get back out of it because I can pull myself out of those things really quick. I just give myself a few days and I'll be back out of it.
That's something, I that what you said that you brought up is really perfect. I noticed because I had an infection and I dropped my edema weight. I had an infection where I couldn't eat, and I felt those behaviors kick up. But because I had been out of them, it was easier to slam them back.
It is. You recognize.
That's it.
Recognize.
That's
you say, oh.
You're like, that pot is hot. I've touched that before. Right. What do I do now? And how I noticed, like for you, your transformation has been so remarkably inspiring. Watching you from where you were to where you are now, the health, the fitness, you glow. Like I just go.
And it's bed time for you. You're still glowing.
I know. I
have this LED light that's shining in my face right now behind the computer. I feel pretty bright.
I'm telling you, when I look at your page and see all the things you post, they're so inspiring. And there's so many people right now who are resorting to alcohol for coping. And, it's not that we're saying, oh, you shouldn't have alcohol, shame on you. No, not at all. That's not what it is. This is, where is this coming from? Why am I doing it? Right? If we know our intention, is that did you find that yours came from a place of self-destruction as well?
Mine was just sort of a progressive thing. It just, like I said, in my younger days, I drank wine while I cooked supper, and then we started drinking every weekend, and then, on a Wednesday, and then just progressed into where I was drinking every single day, every day.
Right.
And and then earlier in the day. And, just behaviors that are not acceptable to a regular person that drinks regularly, or drinks normally, I should say, normally. And so, I was lucky enough to have a husband that recognized it, that was willing to put up with me as long as he could. I think we were getting pretty close to a point where I was treading in water, but, yeah, in the beginning, Rachel, you were asking, but I can remember in the very, very beginning, because, in July of 2015, when I found y'all, I was at my lowest of lows, like couldn't get any lower. And I can just remember in those very early months, all I could remember thinking was, if Rachel can do this, I can do it one more day. If Rachel can do it, I can do it. Just one more day. And I hung on to that for, gosh, I don't even know how long, but, I would tell Sean, Rachel's doing it, I can do it, and so.
Do you know what I do, Michelle? I go to your wall and I look at your pictures and I say, Rachel, one more bite, one more bite, one more bite.
Yes.
You know that? One more bite. Just one more bite each time. Just a couple more bites. Inch those things back up like you know how to do. And
I have a front row seat to it all. With being with her, of course, I'm the one bringing her the food. And seeing her at night, just you can see her talking in her head, but then she's been coming through, and just the peanut butter thing was pretty remarkable.
That's unbelievable.
No, it's awesome to see it, and her brain activity is going crazy right now too. So I'm just saying, from my perspective, it's it's interesting to be a part of, but then again, you want to get through it, and it's frustrating. There's a lot of emotion there, but she's battling, I tell you.
And with what he with all that water, I have to avoid, because I'm like, I can't do the water thing again. I'm like, my bones, and I can't not sleep again, because it was double my weight on the same frame, and my bones were breaking. I had like 7 or 8 bones broken at any given time. I couldn't breathe because I didn't have the strength of my lungs yet to build up to breathe that weight and all of that. So it was so hard. That's why I have to be so very careful, because I'm like, I just can't do that again. I just got out of that water phase, and I don't want, because it was so devastating. It wasn't about how it looked. That used to bother me way more. I actually liked the filling out of the face and the body. It made it better, and people
Rachel's back.
Yeah, it felt like I was back, but it's so deceptive because it's not real weight. But then, but I tell you, so when I have to refeed, I have to go start, because there's a science behind it, and you can't just go willy-nilly and just start downing. One time, many years ago, I was really trying to get better, and I was trying to do it myself. This before GoFundMe, all this. And in the evening, I had let's say it was 4 digits in calories. I don't want to trigger people, but it was a high number of calories I went to. And I woke up the next day. I didn't sweat, nothing. Rod looked at me and he goes, "What the bleep happened to your face?"
I went, too, bleep.
He did. He said bleep.
But no, it
went from square to gone.
Yeah.
And I ran to the mirror and I went, what happened? I was like, what did I do? I didn't know what happened. And that's why, during these process of when you're going through a disease, knowing the right things to do if you don't do the right things, it can end catastrophically. And what you had to go through, those sugar deprivations and things like that. Woo! I am like, my hat is off to you, because I can't imagine how
it was off the chart. I would just crave sugar, and I had to eat it.
Right. It's like you can't even scratch because it's never satisfied, isn't it?
That's correct.
It doesn't get satisfied at all.
The only thing that I do when I have sugar cravings is I'll have fruit, and then I'll just find something to do.
Right.
I know it's not that easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, right. I have my sugar that I take in, but that's the one thing that everyone's body's different, but for me, if I have some fruit and I just try to distract, go do something, then I'm like, all right, I won't have that. So
when someone's going through alcoholism and recovering from
much more extreme,
that is a different level of needing
sugar. You can't solve it by eating a banana. You can't.
No. It does not, my friend.
No, not a banana.
Maybe 20 bananas. So.
Not even close. Right? It's like you just need your body is shaking. Wasn't it from the lack of sugar? Doesn't your body go nuts? Your hormones?
It's constantly in the brain.
Did your energy go up and down too?
Did it?
Yeah.
It doesn't anymore. But yes, it did.
Right?
A lot.
We have another sobriety here. Amen to that.
Nap time.
Yay!
Yeah. This is awesome. Seriously, we applaud you. Because that is not easy at all. Not at all. And dealing with, is it something, do you feel that you are free from completely?
I just don't even think about it anymore.
It's not even.
Is it like another person it's hard to associate with it within yourself?
And I used to feel like I had to post about it every week. I felt like I had to make a long story about it and all that kind of stuff. And my dad told my mom one day, he said, I think one of these days there'll come a day when she doesn't really want to post about that anymore or really talk too much about it anymore. And I told my mom, I said, he's crazy. I said, I'll post about this forever. And then there was just this day though that
it's just not you anymore, right?
I just don't. I don't want to like waller in it. Like I like to post pictures of my food.
Right.
I like to post workouts.
Yeah.
That's what I like to post now.
Right? You don't have that shackles anymore holding you.
Exactly.
It's not like.
Go ahead.
No.
Oh, and I was going to say too, used to, I wanted to read as much as I could and just constantly read, I guess to reassure myself. And it's not like that anymore.
You're your own, you know what you are? You're your own hero.
Oh, and you're my hero too.
I know, you're mine. But you've become your own hero. I think that's such a beautiful thing because you've changed so much and you're so free from it. You're like, I'm posting about this stuff and this is not who I am, and one thing I noticed, and let me ask you, did you find people would hold you hostage to who you were rather than who you are now? Did you have to get rid of those people who have those hangups, or did they see it from the onstart?
I don't think I ever really had any kind of issues like that.
Oh, that's great. Great.
Yeah, I don't.
Supportive. Your community, what you do for people, your ladies and everything, how you help people. You have such an amazing business. And when you told me about that, do you remember the story of the balloons?
Yes.
What you did on the birthday? Could you tell the story?
Well, we all got balloons. Are you talking about the ones when we let them go for you? Yes, we all got balloons for Rachel for her birthday and we let them go.
Oh,
it was so cute. There were so many balloons.
Saying happy birthday to you. Didn't we make a video too?
Yes.
That's what I thought, yeah.
We're gonna have to dig that video up.
All of her ladies were there who became a family to us or to me as well. I've been, we bonded and things like that. And you support the community in your hometown in so many ways, don't you?
We do. We've been in business. We have a dry cleaners because no one else but y'all know that out there. But
I didn't know if you wanted to say it.
No, that's perfectly fine. We've been in business for 25 years, and a lot of the ladies have been with us for, I've got one that's been there 20, one that's been there 17, 15, and lots of years.
My mom is going to kick me if I don't say this to you, by the way. She said, I told her that you maybe end up talking to Rachel on the video chat this week. And she goes, oh, she's my favorite out of everyone that she went on and on talking about you.
I love your mom.
She wanted me to tell you this too, is my great-grandmother used to run a laundromat. And my grandfather, you know that? I haven't told you. She's always learning things about me, see?
Little brain.
No, but my great-grandfather, he was blind, and he used to go around and collect coins from every, he know his whereabouts to where he, was comfortable, and he used to work there. But yeah, we have a history. We have a cleaning history.
That's really cool. You tell Janet I said I love her and give her a hug.
Oh, that's for awesome. Sure.
She got me into painting. She got me into painting. I know. Paint. And so I go, you know what, this year I'm going to paint her something for Christmas. And so then it all kind of went from there. But yeah, she has such an artistic eye. If she were to show all of her paintings, she's got so many that are just lingering around the house, the projects that she's done.
Hers are ridiculously amazing.
Yeah, she's
it is so good. You're like, how did you create that?
You feel like I first got introduced to color for the first time. It's really a bizarre transition in my mind for some reason on how I got into it. But yeah, I love seeing someone's creative art in whatever avenue that they take on. But that's why I was curious if you ended up finding something outside of something new as you were transitioning or not? Like, if,
No, in the very beginning, I was doing gratitude, like not just a gratitude list, but a gratitude I would paint, and then I would write on there. Let me see if hold on one second.
Oh, yeah.
Go grab it.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Hey, just so you know, folks, I was trying to get Michelle to wear a onesie, and she didn't go for it.
Oh,
So we would do these,
Oh, look at that.
and then
beautiful.
they're just like in a book, and they would just be my daily gratitude.
Oh my gosh.
So, and then I have a book full of them, and
I thought so red sticks in the beginning. I thought
a lot of times, in the very beginning, I painted every single night, and in the morning I would write, and then and then that's where I'd write it in a spiral, and then sometimes I've painted a couple of times in the last few weeks.
Is it incredibly therapeutic?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You have some real art skills, young lady.
I kind of knew you were going to pull something like that. I kind of feeling in my gut. Again? I was like, she's done something.
Can you show it again? Your page. Oh. It's so pretty. I've never thought of journaling like that. I never thought of journaling like that. Look at that.
Huh.
I love that idea.
They're just like, and then sometimes I just do circles.
Huh.
And write the gratitudes around the circle.
Oh my, you should publish that. Holy crap.
I just like color.
Me too.
Color.
You're so creative.
Well, I had one of my teachers in the very beginning who was in the sober community too. Her name is Tammy Salas, and she is real big on gratitude. And her sponsor told her in the very beginning, every day you write down 20 things you're grateful for, it'll change your life. And that was one of the things in the very beginning that was handed to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm not grateful for anything right now. Like nothing.
Right.
I don't feel grateful for anything. And so she instructed me that you are grateful for your life, your house, your water, your shoes, things like that. And what happens is with gratitude is that when you practice gratitude every day, it actually changes the neurotransmitters in your brain.
There it is, right there.
We have a friend that's a comedian, and on his podcast, as he finishes up the podcast, he has a gratitude list to close out the show of everything that I always thought that was such an amazing ending to something like positive. Then his guests would do the same thing. They would talk back and forth. But what a solid idea,
Gratitude has changed my life because now, whereas for so long, if something went wrong or something wasn't going the way I wanted to, I would get upset or might get angry about it.
Right.
But now, so for instance, when I wrecked my truck on Thursday, a lady ran the red light and, clipped the whole front of my truck off. I smashed her. Well, I was mad that I wasn't going to have my vehicle for the month and all that kind of stuff. And then I realized how much worse it could have been.
Yeah. Right.
That I was the only one in the truck, and I was grateful for so many things. And it sort of put away the fact that I was going to be without a car for a month. I mean, if that's the least of my worries at this point.
It could have been a fraction of a second off, would have created so much distance, and you would, someone's looking for you. Someone's looking
because it was within a second or two, even for her, because there was an 18-wheeler next to me. Oh. So if the 18-wheeler had been going faster than me, she would have gotten nailed by the 18-wheeler, which would have made it even worse for her. So I was even grateful that she hit me and not them, So gratitude definitely changed life.
That is such a beautiful perspective.
I love that story. I love that.
Because it's all about, what you're saying is it's like how you perceive it.
Absolutely.
Your perception. Mm-hmm. Someone stole Rod's wallet the other day.
Do we have to keep on going there?
No. I'm bringing it up. It's not even in comparison into what Michelle went through.
You're just shot in the gut. That's why I'm saying
what happened was it had a social security card, my health information, so I can't go see a doctor now. It had all our gift cards for food. It had all our cash in it. every single bit of information we could utilize to even just get food. And I was like, it punched me in the gut because it was all we had, pretty much.
It only takes a quick moment for something like that to happen, of going wrong, right? And just changes your whole week, you know?
And I was like, Rachel, you know what? Look at it this way. Maybe they needed it more. Or maybe it needed to happen for a reason. And if it didn't happen for a reason, you still are alive, woman. What do you have to complain about? You ain't got nothing. The whole world saved you.
Yeah, for like 5 seconds, I was like, well, it could be worse. It could be worse. It could be worse. It could be worse.
And then I think of all of it. And you know what my mind actually goes to? It goes to people like you, or people who, and like other people whose story has moved me so much, and our deep connection is there. And what you've done, I'm like, she's got this. This is not, Michelle was just in an accident. I'm crying about a wallet. Rachel, what the heck? Stop it. You know, it just is about that perception, your perspective of it. If we have it if we come to a place with an open, loving heart, right? And with a want to understand and learn and to help, we can do such amazing things as human beings, can't we? With each other, especially when we are together in unity. And it doesn't mean we don't have quips or we don't have, like arguments and things like that. But our deep rooted connection is solid. We love each other. We come with a heart of openness, caring. How can I help? This isn't about me. Let's make this about you. And what can we do to help you? And, that ongoing love and support causes so much healing just there. There's just that camaraderie. It changes. And you know what you said that really made me think was when you talked about the neurotransmitters. Positivity is it's not about like, oh, rah, 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 let's rah, rah Rachel when she's doing that. That's not what we're doing here. We're supporting each other to add to each other, not to take away. I don't want to take anything away. I want to just add. That's why I want these, like your story, your journey was not a straight path, was it?
No, it was not. There were many bumps, turns, turnarounds, fall down, stand back up. Yeah.
Did you
4 steps backward and only 1 step forward some days?
Absolutely.
5 steps forward, 1 step backward. And then all of a sudden, that momentum creates an avalanche of beauty where you thought you were still struggling up that hill and you were sliding down fine now. You are not even held up by those thorns or bumps in the road. Your pathway is clear. Doesn't mean life doesn't present challenges, but you got the right mindset to do it. And your neurotransmitters change.
Right. And that is, and I don't think people really believe it and understand it. My daughter, Shelby, I've told her so many times, there's the neurotransmitters. It's a thing. It's really a thing. You can't have a positive thought and a negative thought at the same time.
Right.
You can't think positive and negative at the same time. It's one or the other.
Right.
So you choose. And she was struggling really bad in her teaching position this year. She had a bad, I don't want to say a bad, she would, her co-teacher or her, how they're paired up, just wasn't really caring too much about what she was doing. And Shelby takes everything that she does so seriously and loves what she does, but she was struggling with it and she was getting down in the dumps about it. And I was having to explain to her every morning, write that gratitude list and you will find that you will see the gratitude.
It's amazing. I love that thought process.
I do too.
So with everyone watching, Michelle, do you have a message to send to everyone? Because I know that it's 2 hours ahead, and I want to keep you up.
Yeah,
too
I know
late.
we kept you on. I'm
We're like,
sorry.
Yeah, it is past my bedtime, but I'll do anything for Rachel.
Oh gosh. Did you
I
get
will.
up at 5 this morning?
Pardon me?
You getting up
She was
at
up at
5?
5.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll get it. We're only cleaning 2 days a week, and so tomorrow we're not cleaning, and so tomorrow we'll probably get up at 6 and not 5. But yeah, I'll be getting up early anyway. You know what I have a problem with? I have a problem, like there's like this window of opportunity where I can fall asleep.
Uh-huh.
And then if I start watching a TV show and I stay up a little bit past there and a little bit past there, then I have a really hard time falling asleep. But I'll stay up for you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I just want to tell people that life, I always hate it when people say, oh, that sounds so cliche, because there's nothing that's cliche. Everything that we say is real life. And life is truly a journey, and life is truly about choices, and it's about mindset, like you said. And you may not feel it now, but if you will live each day like that, like with a great attitude, and not to say that you're not going to have negativity fall in your path and something's not going to happen, but if you can just try to find the good in everything every day, you will find that you will wake up one day and go, man, I'm just a happier human. I truly am a happier human being. And that's what happened to me. I was miserable. In 2015, I was miserable. And there were times that I thought, you know what? I would probably be better off without me. They would probably be better off without me. No meaning behind that, but I just had that feeling in my heart.
Yeah,
I thought that I'd never get rid of that feeling in my heart. But 5 years later, I would never think that. They need me.
You know what? We
all
need
need
you.
you.
If anything happened to my Michelle, I don't know what I would do. And you don't know how much we need you, because what you said was so poetically beautiful. I love how you put it. You weren't like just thinking of taking your own life. You were just thinking of how much better it would be for everyone else if I weren't here. And that is no longer you. Now you're like, I'm here. I'm arrived here for a reason, and I'm here to help, and I'm here to be, and I'm here to be me.
And I'm a rock star.
You are.
You are. And you have to know it and believe it, and then you'll be one.
That's absolutely the case. If we don't get our mind right, then what do we expect our bodies and our behaviors to do? You know, it's all it's all a reflection.
Can I ask you, did you plan on the background setup to be like that? Because it's just, it's beautiful with the background.
I love
that's our hallway.
Uh-huh.
So beautiful.
No, you're just so nicely right there.
I'm in the study, and that's our hallway. And when my back was to it like this, I felt like I was so dark. So I tried to scoot over so I didn't feel so dark.
It looks great. I'm just saying.
Gorgeous.
It looks really
I love the crosses in the back. We have art right behind us over here looking out for us too. And I keep my chain with me at all times to the moon and back again.
Mine's on my charm bracelet now.
What was that?
I put mine on my James Avery charm bracelet.
Oh, do you? I have mine right over here. I don't leave. I'm like, it's my jam. I'm like, okay, I got my Michelle with me. She's with me today.
I love it when she says that's my jam. I don't know why I like that so much, but it's so funny.
You are always a positive delight. And I want to thank you, Michelle, so much, for sharing your story today with everyone. You have so many people commenting on how like amazing you are and everything. And it's just been, you've been such an inspiration, and you keep inspiring still, even me to this day. So
thank you.
Thank you for all your work with the community as well, and keeping businesses going and being there for people as you always are.
Thank you, Michelle.
We love you so much.
I love y'all too.
And I have your favorite music on right now for you.
All right, we're going to close it out. So what, we stay home. So what, we're quarantined. We can still have fun. Just come and hang with me. We can still connect with our family, which is how it ought to be.
We revised the words if you
So
didn't
what?
notice.
We stay home. One more. So what? We're quarantined. We can still have fun. So come and hang with me. We can still connect with our family, with Michelle and with Rach and R.O.D.
Love you,
Bless
Michelle.
you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you so much. Thank you for sharing your story.